イドだろ。四皇ぶっ飛ばしに来たんだ。
Since the Wano arc started and we saw Luffy having a sword, for many people that was completely incoherent because Luffy was never a swordsman, so there was no reason for Luffy to have that sword in his possession. But after the reveal of Nika's silhouette where we saw that deity from the past carrying a sword and a spear, it ended up bringing hope to those who like the idea that Luffy can use a sword even though he is not a high-level swordsman. So, will Luffy be able to use a sword in the future?
ところでお前の刀。
名刀でござるだろ。
ちょっと俺に見せろ。
やだ。
Hey my dear pirates, you are on channel Straw Hat's One Piece Theories. And in today's video we're going to talk about Nika's powers and how this can make Luffy become a sword wielder even though he's not really a swordsman. Will Luffy, like Nika and the former pirate king Gul D. Roger, use a sword? Would a sword be an indispensable weapon for Luffy, or could he actually benefit from having a sword as a secondary weapon? Well, we're going to analyze all this in today's video. So if you want to be a pirate king like me and achieve eternal glory, go ahead and press the like button with all the power of your devil fruit. And if you're new here my dear pirate, already subscribe to the channel and don't forget to activate the notifications bell so you don't miss any new video, okay? Then join this crew that will dominate the entire Grand Line and the New World. Now without further ado, let's get to this epic video. And well, the idea of seeing Luffy using a sword was never something very widespread within the One Piece fandom, even more so because they say that if Luffy used a sword to fight, it could limit his skills even more than add something positive to the fights. I also believed in that statement, until I saw what Luffy could do when he was using Gear 5, which in theory are Nika's powers. Seeing Luffy try to use a sword at the beginning of the Wano arc was really funny because he had no idea what he was doing. Zoro himself couldn't believe what he was seeing when Luffy tried to hit those enemies in that absurdly strange way. But now that Luffy has Nika's power, I no longer see that it would be impossible for Luffy to actually use a sword. Firstly, the way Nika's powers work, they practically free Luffy to use his imagination in an almost unlimited way to the point where Luffy can adapt his fighting style however he wants, even if that way is bizarre. In the fight against Kaido and Rob Lucci, we saw how Luffy fought in a way completely devoid of logical sense. He only acted in reaction to the enemy's attacks, changing the environment, the enemy's bodies, and even changing his own body. Seeing Luffy create glasses from his hair was one of the most bizarre and absurd things I've ever seen in One Piece, and we must remember that One Piece is the anime of bizarre things. Oda himself said that the idea of giving Luffy rubber powers was precisely to make his fights comedic, but with Gear 5 Luffy took this to the extreme. He literally acts like a cartoon. And since Nika carries a sword in her hand, I wouldn't doubt that if, in an epic fight against whoever Luffy was, Luffy would simply pull a sword out of his hair or out of his pocket like in the cartoons to be able to face his opponent. That would be the synthesis of what Oda wanted to make Luffy's powers linked to rubber, and now with those powers having Nika's influence. As I said in some previous videos, Luffy could inherit Shanks' sword at the end of One Piece as a proof of his superiority, or who knows how to find the legendary sword of Roger, and even then Luffy wouldn't even need to actually use them. Since both are the demonstration that even though they carried a legendary sword during their lives, they still don't have in those weapons their maximum source of power, and for Luffy it would be the same analogy. He doesn't need a sword, but it would be really cool that he had one, either inherited by his predecessors or one that he himself can create with his Nika powers. But now I want to know your opinion about everything we commented here today. Will we one day finally see Luffy wielding a sword to face a great opponent? Would Luffy be able to create a sword from Nika's powers? But of course, if you made it this far, it's because you like the content, so it doesn't hurt to subscribe to our channel and become one more member of our fleet, my dear sailor. And of course, do not forget to press the like button, that helps a lot in spreading the video and the channel, so help us to become the largest fleet of pirates here on YouTube, okay? A big hug for everyone, and until the next video.